Welcome to another wonderful, tantalizing Tuesday, you guys, on the Pink Part. Yay! This is your girl, Miss Fifi the Plug, and we have an amazing show today. And well, before I jump to all that, let me introduce the room. I'm here. Duh. And you know, I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for my engineer. Lady Melody is in the building, y'all. Hey, Suge, how you?
Hi. How y'all doing?
Amazing. And like I said, we have some lovely guests here. So let me tell y'all what we're talking about today. If you tuned in last week, then you know that we started off talking about Black love. And I just felt like we should do it again. So we are on volume 2 of our Black love. Should I call this a series, Lady Melody, or are we just going to say volume 2?
I think it can be a series.
Yeah, we're going to say a series because Netflix said it, so we can say it too. So, you guys, like I said, we're going to be talking about Black love, the ins and outs, and, you know, just get transparent in that thing. So to help me with that, we have none other than Mr. Calvin Mann himself and his lovely wife. Hey, sir. Why are you looking over like that?
What's the deal?
Look, I couldn't think of her name, and I'm gonna be. Look, let me tell y'all the truth about myself. I just sat in his chair, right? So I ain't get to say nothing to nobody around the room. But I know he be calling her like a flower or something like that. Like
the white rose.
See, I knew that much. I knew she was a flower, and I was brushing my teeth before I came here, right? And I was like, is it a single rose? No, cause she taken. Is it a I know he ain't say a dozen of them. Like, I knew it was a flower though. Hey, White Rose, how are you?
Right, so it's actually Heather.
Heather.
Yes.
Heather the White Rose.
Yes.
Okay, we got to put that flower in there because I just think that's so cute.
Well,
how are you guys doing today?
Good.
Awesome. Thank you.
You doing
Good.
awesome?
Double booked.
Oh Lord.
I was supposed to be someplace else, but love has demanded that I'm
Didn't
there.
it? Look at love and look at God, baby.
Right.
That just made me happy. I felt special just now.
Well, you are. That's the way
what's
it
up.
is. That's the way it goes around here in these new parts.
You see we in a new place?
Right.
Yeah, we got a new living room now. It's something else.
Yes.
We moving up.
Bougie.
Yeah, we are. My pinky was up when I came in here. So,
Bougie.
you know.
We was real bougie.
Yeah, we real pinky up in here. So today we are talking about, like I said, Black love. You start off, Mr. Mann, and tell us what you think about what is your definition of Black love?
Really and truly, I've never ever put a color to love.
You haven't?
But I understand this is the show. And so I guess if I had to put a color to Black love, it would start with spirituality. You have to have self-spirituality. You have to, in order for you to make it to forever, it most definitely takes some self-accountability, some self-spirituality, a lot of self-work and self-understanding in order for you to even process loving someone else, bringing them into your fold,
Right.
and leading that relationship. You got to have order. You got to have a lot of things for a man, right, to bring in, process, in order for it to be Black love, right? And then you got to understand that there's a partnership. There's not only is a partnership, she has goals and dreams too.
Absolutely.
And if you don't have the wherewithal to support her goals and dreams, don't waste our time.
So Black love started with self-love. That's what it sounded like.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have to figure that out.
That's true. So I on with the couple that we had last week, they kind of were in the same field, like they did the same, you know, they were again in the same field. They kind of did the same thing. They both were into entertainment and things like that, photography and stuff like, you know, those in that genre. Are you and your wife into the same like field kind of?
Well, I would say yes and no, but mainly yes, because all the work we do is geared toward the restoration of family. Somehow we have to get back to the restoration of it because this model ain't worked.
Okay.
The model we looking at has not worked. It isn't working, and if you only got a certain, what we averaging right now, probably maybe 31% success rate with our kids.
What you mean?
I mean, when you base it on the model of the single household, and then you look at all the two parent households, and then you look at all the things that's wrong. Kids are suffering.
Okay.
Right. And so, yeah, we might have the graduations and all the other things that you see, but behind all of that, right? Because everybody got their fronts up. Behind all of that is a lack of dad, right? And in that process is a lack of love. And when you have those two things lacking, right, you're not really whole.
Yeah.
So
your cake not gonna rise.
It's not. And then you have the different areas, the mental health issues. Then right. Yesterday I shared divorced men and suicide. Right. And
really.
Yes, I'm always pointing out the areas for which we're losing. Anytime you lose a parent early, you're not getting the full
experience
of a parent.
Right.
Her father just passed.
Oh, condolences.
He was 79. Mm-hmm. She 50.
Yeah,
I lost my dad.
Rotten.
Right.
Ooh, you rotten. Look like
I lost my dad at 24 and my mom at 30. So
Wow.
I didn't get
the full experience.
The full experience.
Yeah.
Parenting is forever, right? It'll take you right a long way. So I'm just saying that when I say the success rate, I'm looking at the prisons, I'm looking at the dropouts, I'm looking at the failures versus the success. Mm-hmm. And sure, you might have a lot of people in college. You might have a lot of people women who graduate. But you have a considerable amount, for much higher than the highest success rate, right? Our women are very, very educated, as they say. We're supposed to be the most educated. But then why are our boys the most uneducated? So love plays.
Why are women the most unhappy and they the most educated at this time?
Come on.
That's to me, that's kind of crazy.
You might want to ask Heather. That's her
I was about to
field.
say, with that being said, Lady Heather, same question to you. What is your thoughts or interpretation of Black love, and how do you get there?
Well, I really think that Black love is really about setting a tone for really what you want.
Okay.
Now, making sure that you do your part to secure that love is a different kind of statement.
Okay.
That's where the self-work comes in. But you should and must know what really it is that you want. So what do you want from a mate? How does that look in terms of how we build a family? How do we build a relationship? How do we build our community? Mm-hmm. So I think that Black love is an extension. We come from a community that is continuously extending.
Gotcha.
So, we have grandparents that we rely on. We have neighbors that we rely on. And I think it's more about the generation that we came up with, that, it was really community.
Yeah.
The neighborhood, I grew up near Central High School, so off of Linwood and Dexter.
Oh, yeah, I know over there. Yeah. They were very community
very
back
much
then.
community
Yeah.
oriented. Your neighbors were your extension of your family.
Yep.
And that was always showing up. And it used to show up so much clearer in our communities, but now, because I think it has a lot to do with this lack of trust, we've had a lot of broken trust over the last 25 years.
Right.
And so broken trust with our systems, broken trust with each other, and I think that shifted kind of our expectations of what Black love is and what it should look like. But I believe it's really just an extension of what we want, and we still have the power to change and impact that.
I agree. Would you say that that the divide in the community is a direct reflection of the divide in the families?
That is, I think that's a great statement.
Yeah.
Very insightful.
Yeah.
When we lost our sense of the village or our sense of community, we start to lose the grip on our families.
Right.
Because now we had to become this singular unit that kept the dysfunction inside, and all the things that we celebrate as good start to be overshadowed by the systems that were put in place to survive.
Gotcha.
So you had to choose survival over the family unit.
Yeah.
And then we got to a point where that those choices that we had to make to survive pushed the family further and further apart.
Yeah.
And so I see that as a very insightful.
Yeah, and I think I think that also with that, when people left that sense of community, like when we stopped relying on Big Mama and stuff like that, I think that one Big Mama fell off. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And two, to me, it just made it seem like if you put your kids in a greater risk to be harmed because you don't even know these people that you have to rely on, because at the end of the day, you have to have a babysitter. You have to have somebody to do different things for you or whatever. So you would have to outsource to people that are outside of your family to do that. And you don't know the history of them. Like, you know that Johnny might have been a little bit of slow or whatever, your cousin that used to be in the back room and stuff like that. So yeah, we don't ask them to do certain stuff, but because he can't put up enough fronts for me not to know who this nigga is. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, to me, I just feel like we are losing, just, to piggyback off what you were saying, Calvin, like we are losing like our children and stuff because of that, because we are relying on people that at the end of the day, at the core of them, they strangers to us and we don't know them. Mm-hmm. Right.
Well, yeah, you have to grow up fast, right? In this environment, right? When we really get into it, right? Mm-hmm. And like I'm always going back to my portion.
Right.
Fathers and girls and periods, infant mortality and fathers. We've been that process, right? We were not looking into the knowledge of what a man really was, right?
Yeah.
We didn't see, oh, you just a paycheck, right? And because I have these other things, we're making choices, and as well as we did some things, from the pimping, plan, procrastinating, processing, thinking, play, and all of those things come with a component of bad seeds producing bad seeds.
Absolutely.
And so when you get in depth, right, because love then becomes mistrust. So yeah, I'm a player, right, and I went through such and such. So I've had this many women, not realizing the damage that I caused them.
Yeah, and yourself.
And myself.
Because you're getting further and further away from trust, acting crazy outside.
You are not going to trust nobody.
Yeah.
Right? You're not going to trust nobody. And then you start hearing the conversations, we're all the same. It's just like the mindset around complaining. Yesterday on our show, we were talking about, and I'm going to let her really get off into this because I thought yesterday was really important. Uh-huh. And when you really get or really take a look at where we are, right, you are starting to see more and more couples, more and more power couples, more people coming together in the name of love and discovering men are no longer, just like women are not tolerating certain things, men are not tolerating bad women anymore, right? Where in the past we're going to hang on.
Yeah.
Women are saying, no, this is not right. I'm trying to find that person. We just so happen to have known each other.
Okay.
And the friendship.
I want to get to that.
The friendship.
Yeah, I want to get to that part.
Right.
That part right there.
Right. And so the friendship, we was always cool. Mm-hmm. And there was a time where she recognized and saw something different in me. And me, there was a time where I was just saying, no, this ain't the time for that, right? Mm-hmm. Like, we cool. Let's leave it right here. I'm having too much fun because I was on my. Yeah,
go deeper. Yeah. How did this happen?
So I get a phone call.
I'm going to let you tell the truth, Heather, afterwards. Right. Go ahead.
I get a phone call. And all this whole time while I was going through the situation I was going through, I was telling friends that, I believe the only woman might be for me, Rose, but I don't know where the hell she at. Mm-hmm. I don't know what she doing, but you know what I mean? I'm thinking she might be the only
she must be at Aldi's or something.
Right. So I didn't know. And so
the groceries, though.
I'm on my revenge tour.
Okay.
Right? And I get a call.
I like that. You're so crazy.
Right. I get a call and it's her. It's on my phone, and I'm going, okay, what you doing calling me? Like, what's up? And she was like, I just had a dream the other day. I said, I got a daughter. Cut that out. What's happening? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so she was like, I want to see you when I get back in town. And so we met for dinner. And, she was like, hey, I'm looking at you a little different. I said, hey, I ain't seen you. It's a while.
You got that haircut. Ooh.
Right. I ain't seen you. I ain't seen you in a while. It's good to see you, but no, you're not stopping what I'm doing right now.
Right.
I'm having too much fun. I'm out here. Let me be. And she said, it was a very powerful word. Ladies, you should learn this. It was powerful.
Let me write it down. Give me a pen.
Let me help you.
Mm-hmm. That's the phrase?
That was it. She was like, let me help you.
Oh,
so
shoot.
When I left, I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. So when I left it at the friendship. Mm-hmm. And so I was already doing my work in the community, and if I needed something, because at this time I had lost everything. Mm-hmm. And so if I needed something, she asked me to call, right? So I called, right? And then, she showed up and started helping in places while I was going through the trauma I was with. And the whole time, everybody thinking something is going down, don't realize on the backside, I'm going crazy doing stuff that I wanted to do, right? I was living my best life, right?
Oh, Jesus.
And
whenever they say that, it'd be foolishness involved. Go ahead.
Right? And the truth was, at a certain point, things had got calmed down, and we started talking. Mm-hmm. And we started realizing that there was more to each other than just this friendship. But the number one thing I had always been looking for since I was 20 was a praying woman.
Okay.
A woman that could pray.
Now that's something serious right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even think that men really understand the importance of that. Like, or the value in having a praying woman.
Me and Molly, we was having this conversation the other day. They question everything but the air. Mm-hmm. Right? They don't question God, but they don't question the air. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But the real process is that I needed that.
Right.
I know if I got a praying woman, that prayer can bring me home. Mm. That prayer can cover me. Mm-hmm. And I think it's one of the most attractive attributes a woman could have is taking her man's hand and being able to pray for him and having a relationship, her own relationship with God.
Yep.
And that was that sealed it. You know what I mean? That sealed it because all the places I had looked, it was like it was a facade.
Yeah.
It was like a facade. So that is the story. You can check with her. She's going to back daddy up anyway. You know what I mean?
But until y'all get in the car. Like, that is not what I said. Look.
I always tell the truth.
She can't tell you outside, like, because we a team. Okay?
I try to keep it the truth. But back to understanding that we can, right? Mm-hmm. And everyone. When I was working at Northwest Airlines, I was helping women get married. And that was the number one thing. Right.
You was helping them get what?
Yeah. Yeah.
Help me. How? What you do?
One, how do I?
You got a closet full of them? Because I like the real big old black ones. You got some? I'm just being honest. I'm gonna love them real blackly. So, baby, yes.
So she does that
close
work.
To my heart.
Me, I was just saying that back then, as finding my gift, mm-hmm. I was exercising my gift that way, mm-hmm. and a lot of people would come to me about relationships. But in that model, is you. It really comes back to you. You are going to draw what you need. If you're not good, you're going to draw what you don't need. And if you got your fake up, you're going to draw a fake up. It just comes down to how you process that relationship with God.
Okay.
And get out your way, because a lot of y'all be like, Lord, I want a man. And men do it too. Man, I've been praying to God, right? You know, I say, yeah. But as soon as the girl walked through the door and say hi, oh, that's the one. How you know that's the one? Well, she said this and you in the way.
Yeah, we do fall for that one kind of fast.
Yeah. Because you got to remember the devil will listen to you too.
I'm saying though, how do you how do you know? How do you know that that's like the person you should listen to like that? Like, how do you?
You know. You're gonna say things like, "This is the first time I ever." You're gonna say that. You're gonna say things like, "You know what? I never really felt this way about anybody," because everything is out. Every women and men put up walls. Mm-hmm. Each one of y'all come with about 9, 10 walls.
I thought I had 13 of them.
Right, but it takes
Shit.
it takes a certain man to scale the walls to get to the place where he understands that he can take care of you. Mm-hmm. So you got this wall. By the time I get to wall 7, right, an 8, you start feeling some type of way, and he doesn't understand at wall 8 how to get to wall 1, where that little girl you got tucked away is hiding. Mm-hmm. You got to be able to take care of her when you get to her.
Yeah.
Right?
That part.
They don't know how to get through them walls.
Yeah.
They don't have the skills. And in that process, she doesn't have the skill to know how to let them down to the right person.
Or to communicate the little girl, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the work she did with y'all. You know,
What's your number, Heather? Make sure you give me your card before you leave, because...
Yeah.
Let's hear from Heather.
I know.
Awesome. Let me start with adding to the part of the story that is my backstory.
Get the part for me. That's what I want to hear.
So several years ago, so I've been married. This is my 3rd marriage.
Okay.
Let me put that out.
Third time's the charm.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you where I had some missteps.
Go.
Okay, so my first marriage, I was younger. I was about 24 when I got married. I got divorced at 27. We were both younger, and he told me early on, when we were dating, we were together a total of 7 years.
Okay.
So by year 3, it's like either you're on the bus with me and we're going somewhere, or you're not. And so he was like, well, I'm not ready for that step. And I was like, okay, great. And I left him. I moved. I went on with my life.
Peace.
Now, I'm not saying that was an easy move.
Right.
But it was in my best interest to protect me and move my life forward and not be stuck in a place where somebody was not on the same page with me.
Got you.
And so what I did was, after a while, all the benefits that he had with me, he wasn't finding in other places. So he's like, wow, I may have messed up, right? And so he came looking for me. And I was like, yeah, no, we did this already. And so I had established this rule about not going back. I broke my rule, and I went back. We got married. We were together another 3 years. And he was like, yeah, I don't want to do this anymore.
Oh.
I didn't have all the background details as to what you really didn't want to do. I was still trying to say, okay, well, take the time you need, do what you need to do, but I'm here because I made the commitment.
Right.
And so he's like, yeah, I'm not coming back. And so I was like, I was devastated.
I bet, yeah.
Devastated. And so behind that, I had a series of other things that happened, some trauma that happened for me. And then, but after that, I said, you know what? Maybe I need to be clear about what I want.
Okay.
And so maybe a few years, I'm around 30 about this time. I'm like, I need to really be clear about what I want. I went to my journal. You guys know about the journals. The sisters know about the journals, right? And I started writing down what I wanted, right? I wanted a man that had God, because you have to be accountable to somebody
my nerves.
other than yourself. Right? It has to be somebody that can put you in check, right? When you're going astray. It has to be somebody other than your friends that can do that for you, right? That you respect and value. Okay, so I figured out that was going to be a key. So I wrote my whole list. I was writing because I was pouring out, because I was really ready, and I really wanted to be more clear about what I wanted.
Right.
So I'm pouring, and I was like, okay, God, I need for you to have a confirmation for me. When I get him, I need for him to be, this is a key, y'all, you don't trip out when I tell you, I said, I need him to be a man in every sense of the word. It never occurred to me, as long as I knew Calvin Mann,
he gets on
I
my
never
nerves.
connected his last name to my confirmation. Do you get that?
Yeah.
So this was like years and years and years ago.
Yeah.
I met Calvin in like 2009. I made this affirmation. It was in the 90s, early 90s. And so when that's when I knew. I was like, okay, Lord, I need for you to tell me really is I need to understand, what's going on. What are my feelings? Is this real or is this some, some physical attraction? Can I get beyond the physical? How do I do that? So I was out at a retreat, and he came into my dream. Now, we hadn't, like he said, we hadn't talked in years. All of a sudden, I have a dream about him having a daughter. And I'm like, why am I dreaming about Calvin having a daughter? What's up with that? I mean, it was very detailed. I was changing her diaper. She's just as cute as a button. And so while I'm on my retreat, which I don't do, I don't break my covenant time, right? I called him, and I'm like, I just had a dream about you having a daughter. And he was like, what? First of all, you're calling me, and I know you're on your retreat. So you're calling me for real? I was like, yes, we'll talk when I get back in town. And so that kind of, it wasn't romantic at the time. It wasn't anything romantic about it. It was just, it was the first step, if you will.
Right.
But I had set some things in motion when I wrote it. So we know that's one of the reasons why we journal, right? We journal to pour out, but we also journal so that we have a baseline of things, of experiences that we can always go back and refer back to benchmark where we are.
Right.
And then to also see and manifest those things that we do want, not what we don't want. We don't want those old experiences anymore. We want the new experience, right? And we want what's for us. Those are the things that we're putting in our journal, right? Pouring into. Now we need to be poured back into. But I think one of the challenges is that we don't often pay attention to the self-work that we're doing, what we're asking for. And then when we see it, it may not be in the cellophane wrap. It might come in bubble wrap.
See?
But because it's in cellophane, that can't be it, because I said specifically I want that pink cellophane wrap.
Yeah.
But whatever your confirmation is between you and God, you wait for the confirmation. We jumped the gun. And so my marriage number 2, jump. I disregarded what I said I wanted because I was. And
your rule.
And I was ready. This is husband number 2.
Oh, okay.
This is husband number 2. Right. And so our journey together brought us a son. He was supposed to be in this world, and God chose us as the 2 vehicles to get him
here.
Absolutely. But then our marriage ended because we had some different value sets. And so after that, then that's when I was clear. I was like, okay, I have 2 husbands. Now I have a son. How do I take this next step? How do I find my way? Because I have a son. I'm a woman. I don't know his experience. I made sure that his father stayed in his life. I didn't cause any drama. I wanted them to spend time together to get to know each other and build that relationship. I never stood in the way of them having a relationship. When my son got old enough, he's 14 now. When he was old enough and he said, I want to go spend time with my dad. This is the schedule I want to have. I'm going to go on the weekends. Okay.
Right.
Okay. But I also made sure that he had other positive men in his life. I put my son in a male mentorship program. I put him in Emmy. I was invested in Emmy. So I knew about the program. I knew about Calvin's leadership. I knew about the men who were a part of Encourage Me I'm Young, and the quality of men that were there because they were fathers. And because of that, I wanted my son to have that experience. He had to be around positive men. He had to see men doing positive things. He had to learn from positive men. These were things that I could not give him. And as much of a good mother as I think I am, I'm not a good father.
Yeah.
And
that's admirable to even admit that. Thank you.
Where we go wrong is we try to be a good mother and a good father. Yeah. And for reasons that some of the reasons are that we try to protect that for our sons. When we don't have healthy fathers or we didn't make healthy choices, let me step back. When we didn't make healthy choices about the men we decided
Procreated
to
with, yeah.
have these children with, now we have some reservations about who they are.
Right.
But I want to make sure this is clear before we go on, that whenever you say a negative word against a male or your child's father, that bruise, that stripe is on your child, especially on our son. So whatever bruise that you put out in the universe about him, whoever him might be to you, that is a stripe. It is a lasting, permanent stripe.
It is.
On your own son.
It is. And
Because
it also
they
makes
listen.
women bitter.
It does.
It makes little girls bitter
It
coming
does.
up. Yeah.
It does.
And resentful.
It does.
Yeah.
And so one of the challenges that we face as a community in this our ideas of Black love is that we are kind of stuck in this infinity cycle, right? Young boys tend to have experiences younger with older women. When they get older, they have expectations of women, and then because they can't meet some of those expectations with women on their age and at their level, they dip down and go into younger women because they can offer them something younger women take what's being offered to them, and then now they prefer older men. And when they get older, they start looking at younger men. And so we get caught in this infinity cycle. And instead of us growing out of it and doing the self-work for a man of age and a woman of age to come together, he shouldn't be looking at the 20-somethings. He shouldn't be looking anywhere near that age.
Right.
If you're 40-something. You need to be looking at a woman, not a girl who you can shape and mold and oftentimes ruin for her next level. So
That's true.
if you get so many experiences between 15 and 18, you have an expectation, especially
Yeah, you 40 in the head.
especially if you
Yeah.
don't have a father to balance that out,
Yep.
to help make those corrections
Yeah.
and establish those expectations. Now you have an expectation of men that is based on what you can physically offer, not mentally, emotionally, or spiritually. And so that's your expectation, but you're also planting that seed in men that now they have to offer, or what they can get is only physical
Yeah.
and not spiritual and
Yeah.
mental. So we get stuck in this infinity loop of brokenness.
Yep.
And so until we decide that we don't want to live like that anymore, we want a better quality of life, we want a better quality in relationships, we're stuck in that infinity cycle. And what happens is it starts to fray and it starts to get sharpened.
Right.
Those pieces, those broken pieces are sharp. They cut, they bruise, they end life.
Yeah.
They
You know,
murder.
life as you know it get caught on those sharp edges.
Yeah.
And so if we don't do our own self-work, that is admitting, and if you have to start in a journal, admit in the journal, these are the areas that I need to
Yeah, I'm
strengthen.
tore up in this place.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is where I'm broken.
Yeah. And seriously, to your point, I had to do that. Like, I had to go, I call it going within. Like, it took me about 2 years to cleanse, to wash myself and cry on the floor and fall out and just be transparent with myself about things. And I mean, I can feel the difference, just in my relationships, period, across the board in life, because I think that every adult has to have that transparent time with themselves, and admit, like, okay, this is what I was taught when I was coming up, and this probably ain't even true. This probably ain't even the rightest thing to think, or just our misconceptions that we have about how things go in life, about how systems are and stuff. And yeah, I think that is very important for every adult to do that, to stop and go within and just look at you and see what it is that you are doing and what you are not doing, so that you can be better equipped, I think, for relationships, period, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But so part of that is sometimes if you take the first step, there are others who are there to help you stand.
Yeah.
So if you can take a step forward, there are those
Take the help.
counselors,
Yes.
therapists, life coaches,
Yes.
personal change coaches, mentors. That is the value of having the maturity and the wisdom at your hands. We need that maturity and wisdom, especially when we don't have it on our own.
Right.
Especially because that's one of the missing elements of having, like you said, Big Mama. Big Mama used to shoot the wisdom, right?
Yeah.
The ladies
Shout out
on
to
the
my
porch,
auntie Mabel. I still got one.
See,
yes.
you have that wisdom, and so, and that's not the only place to get it. We have to understand that maturity, wisdom, and experience makes a difference.
Yes.
And sometimes you need somebody to walk you, coach you, help you through that time. And if you're doing the self work, you started off on your own. Self work includes the revelation, the transparency. It includes the work that you do, getting books, going to workshops, getting some deeper level of understanding. But the best understanding that you can get is your centeredness.
Yeah.
What are you rooted and grounded in?
Yes.
Because if you don't have an accountability factor, your relationships are also not going to have that accountability factor.
That's true.
The seeds that we plant, the things that we say that we want, are there for us. God made us so divine. We are wonderfully made, and I really want to hope we get a chance to talk about this too. But I want to talk about some of the areas where we're broken, and how that looks internally. That there is a biochemical process to balance and to wholeness. Because our bodies and our minds are just our tools. The spirit is what activates the body.
Okay.
This body is just a machine. It's going to live, grow, die. It's going to do what you tell it to do. Right. As long as you take care of it. If you put it on autopilot, which a lot of us do sometimes, we put it on autopilot and we let it do what it wants to do. But when you're centered and grounded, there's somewhere that you're going. There's a destination. But I want to just say that, and I know this is skipping a bit, but I just want to put this out there.
No, go ahead.
That when we talk about balance and wholeness, there's a frequency that we emit. There's a frequency to balance and wholeness. And these are the clues to know when you're off balance. Headaches, migraines, depression, diseases, and discomforts. These are signals.
What you mean when you say diseases and discomforts?
So the adult human balanced state is between 62 and 68 megahertz. 62 and 68 megahertz. What that means is that the electrical signals pulsing through our bodies at a given second is between 62 and 68 megahertz. Okay? If you go beyond or lower than 62 megahertz, between 60 and 61 megahertz is when you get a headache. This is your biochemical process now. If you think of it as
this is the science behind it.
This is the science behind it.
Okay.
This is the bioscience behind it.
Okay.
This is what's happening chemically. This is what's happening in your mind when you're going through. When you are having negative thoughts, negative behaviors, and negative actions, negative words, it decreases by -12. So if coronavirus, how about this? Coronavirus exists at a frequency of 58 megahertz.
Oh.
So when you drop to 58 megahertz, you're susceptible to colds, flus, pneumonia, and then from there, cancer resonates at 42 megahertz. Various forms of cancer. So what it is your body, your mind sending signals to your body that this is too much.
Yeah, you got to keep your frequencies high enough.
It's too much stress.
Yeah.
How about this? Gratitude, giving, being thankful, using good manners is 540 megahertz. In that instance, when you are giving and sharing and saying thank you, you're vibrating in that action at 540 megahertz.
It feel like it.
And you know it.
Yeah, it feel like it.
So when you hear something and you get goosebumps, you guys have that like I got right now?
Yeah. You just made me get some.
Your frequency went up.
Yep.
Your frequency went up because now you, in that moment, you resonated on this level.
Yeah.
These are all signals that our bodies give us. That's why I said God is amazing.
Yeah, I'm full of megahertz.
Wonderfully made. When you pray and you meditate, 700 megahertz.
See, I'm full of megahertz. I do that.
When you meditate, pray, all of that, in that instant, that's what you. And then you come back down to your natural state, right?
Yeah.
But when you're high and you feel high, you feel good.
Yeah, you do.
When you do joy is at I think 168.
I told you, I am full of megahertz. Yeah.
That's important. But remembering that you bring that into your relationship.
Yep.
And that is a very attractive draw to have somebody who's in your presence.
Mm-hmm.
They make you feel good about being in the spaces they're in. So that means that they're saying good and positive things.
Mm-hmm.
That means that they're having good and positive thoughts about you. That means their actions are supporting those good and positive thoughts. When we are negative, when we are depressed, when we are having discomforts and diseases, that's why people get into arguments.
Yeah.
It stirs it and it draws it because women and the environments that you walk into, you change the vibration.
I say that. I be saying that we set the tone.
When you walk into a room and people see you and you have a smile, you raise the
I say
vibration
that.
and you get that energy, that good energy from other people. So I know I'm talking a bit, but this,
No, go ahead.
You just got me on the roll now.
I love good company. You good company.
So
She full of megahertz, Calvin. Don't mess with her.
Well, I make sure I put them in there. You know what I mean?
I can't stand him. I cannot.
We got to dump the megahertz.
It's so crazy.
But that's the white rose, right? And
He said that's the rose. That's what I was talking about.
right, and that's what I was saying. You know, the couple of times I came on about her books and her workshops and the things like that, because it's I tell her all the time that being visible doesn't hurt you, and you have to be more visible because people need that.
Yeah.
People need that. People need
I thought
what
I was
she
the only one that
offers.
be talking like that.
Nope.
I love you, White Rose.
Yeah. people need what she's doing, and she's helped a lot of women. You know what I mean?
That's
and
dope.
so being more visible is important. So that's just a piece, of what and we're constantly building and conversating and talking. And so our love language, is centered around the work, centered around change, centered around touch. It's 'cause the words that we use toward each other.
Absolutely, build. You got to build them up, and that goes both ways. You have to build your partner up. You know, and I just want to say to our to the people in the back that, as you can see, that he is a very strong figure. Like you are like you're a very strong figure and very influential. And your movement and your mission, period, it speaks strength. You know what I'm saying? And leadership. And to the ladies in the back, he don't need nobody that's a leader too like that. Like he don't, it can't be two of him in the house. You know what I'm saying? You have to as the lady, you have, and as the woman in that to be your mate, it's obvious that you have to know how to have your grace and fall back. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I love how you say that, though.
That doesn't mean that you don't have a voice at all, because clearly she has an amazing voice and she has an amazing message, but at the same time, and this is, I always get a lot of flack because, on the morning show, and just usually on a lot of the other panels I get on, I think that I take a more so of a boot camp approach when it comes to addressing the things that the women do, and they get mad and offensive by that. But she just sat here and said the same thing that I've been saying this whole time, and I just feel like it takes that. Like, it takes that. No man doesn't need a woman that's walking around with a tone as strong as his, like she has a penis. And I just feel like that, that's basically all I was saying. And she just said that in a more graceful way. Thank you, Rose.
Yeah.
Look like.
Well, yeah.
But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No, seriously. I'm only saying that to say, men don't want that. That's not what they want. They don't want you out here just trying to be as hard as he is. That's not your place.
And he, for a man, he also has to understand the balance.
Yeah.
Right? Again, I'm not coming in and getting ready to go at her in a way that demeans her,
Absolutely.
causes her to be insecure,
Right.
pushes fear, threaten her, talk like I'm the only. I'm not talking to her that way.
Right.
Right. Oh yeah. I go out here. It's 7 to 1. I'm not talking like that. You're very limited
Yeah.
in your education. I asked this old man the other day on the phone. Right. I'm doing this interview, and he's going through this interview, and he's talking and talking and talking and talking. He's talking, and I just asked him something. I say, man, I love your wisdom. I say, but you've been around a long time, and thank you for making it this far. I say, but what was the last book you read? And he shut the hell up. Mm-hmm. Then he was like, well, I ain't read a book in a long. I said, do you know reading does something to your brain? And then what it does to your body? Do you know by not reading, you might be rotting out your body? You've made it this far. Feed your brain some more knowledge and incorporate it with what you do know.
Yeah.
And go outside on your porch and talk to the kids in your neighborhood. You don't have to be scared of them. The reason why you're scared of them because you're watching that TV. You're not taking in no new knowledge. So you're not stepping out there connecting yourself and teaching the young men in the neighborhood and offering any tools. You a jewel. And a lot of times we work from this much space. So this is the only thing I know. Dr. David Pate said something that was very, very powerful in the interview. He said, 30 years I've researched black men. He said, I looked all over, I checked everything, from child support, I fought everything, got books, deals, everything to help black men. Mm-hmm. He said, the one thing that I understand about black men think that they have to be the breadwinner. And if they're not the breadwinner in their household, they will walk away from everything. You and I both know men who walked away from a good relationship just so he could go get something that he could tell what to do.
Yeah.
Because she might have been making more money, and because of where his mindset is, he looking at it from a point of view that she could tell me anything. No, money is your God.
Yeah.
And so now you've allowed that to dictate and destroy and move you away from what really God has for you.
Wow.
For forever, making it to forever. Men, we must be balanced. How many times can I say to you, I got this new idea, 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 I got this new idea. If I'm not pouring into you for you to really listen to what I'm saying, where you could say to me, baby, I like this second idea. Really? Yeah, I think we can go here, where I'm listening to your leadership in this position right now. And what happens is a lot of us take advantage of situations and leadership and moments to try to one up, or we'll try to break a man, because a lot of these men are mummified. So because they didn't have a lot of males in their life, a woman can tell them anything and they'll do it. Mm-hmm. And you see that all the time.
Yeah.
You'll hear somebody else, I'm going to call my cousin Tutu. And y'all call them goons. Mm-hmm. What is a goon? It's a man. And what you basically said is he's no value. You just labeled him a goon, and you created no value. So you're going to call him to come do something.
Yeah,
to
he like a burner
else.
pistol.
Flat out.
Shoot his ass and throw him in the dumpster. Yeah, that's
Right.
That's a burner. Yeah, he a burner pistol.
Right. I'm going to call him. He gonna do something. And then once he does, his whole life now is impacted. So we have to get away from all of that.
He was born impacted. That's a burner.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. The serial number came out the plastic scraped off. I'm just saying that's how I go. But
Yeah.
I just wanted to just add two more things. The first one is that as women and as we are maturing, we have to have the tools to create peace in the spaces that we occupy. First in ourselves. And I call that elevated self-care.
Okay.
We have to have the tools for elevated self-care. That is the mind, body, and spirit but it's also the knowledge and the tools and the wisdom that goes along with that.
Yeah.
You can have all the information, but no real way to apply it. And a lot of us, sometimes we just collect stuff. We collect books and sometimes we read them, but we don't apply it because we are missing the tool for application.
Right.
And so you have to understand and find the right connection for you. If it's a therapist, I say personal change coach, that would be me. But to help you apply the tools. Because if you're not applying the tools, having the books on the shelf or having gone to the workshops or having gone to the women's events doesn't serve you because you're missing the part where you apply it.
Yeah. Were you accepting it?
Yeah, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's appreciating, absolutely.
This was so dope. I think I might have to have a volume 2 of y'all, just period. Our time is running thin, and I don't want it to cut off on us. So, let's get our plugs in and get out of here. So, Lady Heather, you can go first. Just tell them where they can find you at. If you want to put any of your social media tags or anything like that out there, this is your time.
Thank you. You can find me. You can Google me under Heather Heteru, and you can find my books, my workshops, my blog talk shows, my YouTube videos.
Okay.
Yep. So you can find my books on Amazon. So if you look up Heather Heteru, that's HETHERU. You can visit my website, yourinspiredjourney.com, and you can find all of my contact information there, links to my books and workshops. So thank you. Thank you for having me, too.
Thank you so much for coming. Brother Man, let them know where they can find you.
Well, you can find me at 313-638-3649. Right now, I've opened up to mentor males in the 9th grade to 50.
Okay.
New fathers, old fathers, right? 36 years
I'm going to pray for you.
of work. And you can look on my Facebook page, and you also can find me at www.emiworld.com. We launched a capital campaign to build our empowerment center. $5 million. Please go there, click the red button, and give us a donation as we continue to do the work that is so desperately needed.
Okay.
Thank you.
And also, y'all can catch him on Mondays on Podcastic. He has a podcast that comes on at 6 p.m.
Oh, yesterday was deep.
Yes. So, yeah. Thank you so much again to my lovely guest. You guys, you can find me here at Podcastic every morning on the Rise and Grind Morning Show at 9 a.m. with Miles Crazy AZZ. And right here, I'm here on Tuesdays, of course, and on Monday nights, you can find me on Switchplay TV. All of this is on Podcastic. If you are looking for me on social media, you can find me at Instagram and Facebook at Miss Fifi the Plug. That's MZFEFE the Plug. And with that being said, we got to roll, y'all. Peace.